This is your math gal, Julie Harland. Please visit my website at yourmathgal.com, where all of my videos are organized by topic. All right, we're going to solve this trig equation. Sine of x equals negative 0.315, and we're trying to find all angles in the interval 0 to 360 degrees. So first of all, make sure that your calculator is in degree mode. Otherwise, you'll get it in radians. Okay, that's because we're looking for something between 0 and 360. Now, one way to go about this is that angle, and this isn't necessarily going to be the angle I want for my final answer between 0 and 360, because there are infinitely many angles, right? Where if you take the sine, you can get negative 0.315. So one possibility is you do the sine inverse of 0.315. Okay? So now you can plug that into your calculator, and we're going to round that to the nearest tenth of a degree. And let's see. So I'm putting that in, and I get negative 18.4. So the first thing I notice is that's not an angle in where I want my answer to be. I want my answer to be in between 0 and 360 degrees. So how would I find a coterminal angle with this? So it's in between 0 and 360 degrees. Remember, you can add or subtract 360 degrees to get a coterminal angle. So if I add 360, I'll get something in the range I want. So if I do negative 18.4 degrees plus 360, what does that give you? Let me do that. I get 341.6 degrees. And now I do have an angle in the correct range. All right, so let's say I'm going to write my answers here. I know that's going to be one of the solutions, 341.6 degrees. Now to make sure, simply compute the sine of 341.6 degrees in your calculator and make sure it comes out to about negative 0.315. I've rounded here, so might not come out exactly. I'm going to do that real quickly. So if you want to know for sure if that's correct, let's just plug in. So in other words, what is the sine of 341.6 degrees? And let's see, when I plug it in, I get negative 0.316. So yeah, we're in the ballpark. It's because of the rounding that it might not come out exact. All right, so just make sure you understand that would be true. All right, now how would we find where the other angle is? Because there's two places where the sine is negative. It's in the third and the fourth quadrant. So in other words, I know there's this one over here, and that's 341.6 degrees going all the way around. And in fact, this right here was the negative 18.4. Now I'm not going to worry whether it's negative or not, but that's basically 18.4 degrees, right? This area right there, or this angle, not considering whether it's positive or negative. So there should be another one over here. And how could I get that? In other words, how would I figure out what that is? Well, I have 180 degrees plus this extra piece, and this piece is the same as that piece over there. So I have 180 degrees, right? Plus that extra piece, which is 18.4 degrees, or 198.4 degrees. Rather than memorize it, I always like to look at the picture, and you're just doing a little problem solving to figure it out. All right? Because this should have the same sign. If you look at it, right, same sort of triangle. The y-coordinate's negative in both cases. The radius here, or the hypotenuse, is the same. So my other one looks like it's going to be 198.4 degrees. And remember, it doesn't matter the order you write your solutions. If you like to write the smaller number first, awesome, no problem. But let's just do a quick check so in other words, in your calculator, check in your calculator to see what the sine of 198.4 degrees. Make sure you are going to get up to around negative 0.35. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm putting in 198.4. Do it with me. Make sure it's in degree mode. And I got approximately negative 0.316. Again, yep, close. So that's how you would do this problem. A little bit tricky because when you do the, inverse sine, you don't get something in the range you're looking for between 0 and 360 degrees. This is your math gal, Julie Harland. Please visit my website at yourmathgal.com, where all of my videos are organized by topic.